What is pussy poppin', you beautiful humans? My name is Ariane Andrew.
I'm Matt Dillon, and welcome to another piping hot episode of Sippin' the Tea, Quarantine, where we're bringing you up and close with the stars inside our own homes. What is poppin', Ariane?
What is poppin', Mr. Matt Dillon?
We here. I'm excited for this chat today. It's nice that with this platform that we have, we get to meet stars that are kind of at the beginning of a journey to the outer stratosphere. So we have the CW Stargirl star, Trae Romano. What is up, my friend?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me on today.
Our pleasure.
So, we're just going to get straight to it. Obviously, with all the stuff that's happening in the world, it's a crazy time right now. But what have been like some of the positive takeaways that you've had with, being back in quarantine and just maybe even some new skills that you've picked up?
Actually, I've been writing a lot lately. That's a big thing for me. I've always written a lot in pre-virus, but now with the virus going on and you can't do as much, I really started dialing it in with the writing, because I always say that the most important thing being an actor, like in addition to, is usually writing. So yeah. I'm just trying to take writing more seriously, and I'm just finished up a short film with my friend that is a director or up and coming director. So I'm really just trying to, get myself acquainted with the other side of the camera on this quarantine.
Very smart. Yeah.
I appreciate that you look at, introspectively in yourself. And I actually loved what you said. Like, when you hear an actor actually say that, I was like, that's an actor's actor that wants to look at the other side of the coin and the other thing, because I think that's a fully rounded. I'd say I'd take my hat off for you, but yeah, I'll just clap you off.
Yeah, man. No, because I firmly believe once you put the hat on, you don't take the hat off. The hat stays on. I completely agree.
No, we're not popping there. So, I want to know, are you coming live with us now from ATL? Are you back home or are you in LA?
Yes, I am in Atlanta right now. It's pretty warm out, so yeah, I'm in Atlanta.
So take us through that journey, though. How from the ATL into this Hollywood kind of bubble and all of that. Was that the dream, from a young age to I want to be an actor, I want to be in film? What was the catalyst to kick off?
Well, honestly, there was no catalyst to kick off, because I originally started acting, and I tell everyone this, I'm like, by accident. I went to my family friend in Atlanta, probably, 10 years ago. It was probably like 8 or 10 years ago, was filming a movie here in Atlanta. It was the Three Stooges, blah, blah, blah. So I went on set. He was behind the camera, he was the assistant director, and I got to see my first, film set. I loved it. I thought it was great. And that's kind of when I started acting. I wanted to start picking it up. I don't know if you can call me a creative kid, like back in the day, because I don't really know. But that's when I really started kind of picking it up. And I went to this little acting school outside of Atlanta for probably like 2-3 years. And I got an agent, and I was like, okay, this is actually I'm actually finally getting to do what I like and, hopefully have a good shot at it. But once I got to that point where I started going out to LA and kind of splitting my time, that was a challenge for me in the beginning, because I hated LA with a passion. I was just like, I don't like these people. I just don't like, yes, exactly. 100%.
Coming from you live from LA, but so I was like, I'm starting to feel, continue, but I had to call you on that and be like, yep.
We hear you.
And that's the thing, is that you have to find your people everywhere you go, definitely. But for those first few years, it was a little hard for me, because I came from an East Coast family, really traditional Italian American family that was just very, by the book. And I went out there, and there's all these characters that I meet, all these and I was just almost like a culture shock. But as time went on and I kind of got more acquainted with it, and I found my group of friends, then I just really loved it. I think it's become one of my favorite places to be, because I have a lot of friends there that I could really do a lot of stuff with. I have a lot of connections and people that I really care about. So it's really changed a lot in the last 5 years. And it's really made a big difference in, just my daily life.
I love that.
I mean, for someone who's so young, you seem like you have your head on like, and you're crystal clear about like what you want, how you're going to get there. Would you say that there's been someone in your life that's inspired you to be so grounded and to like keep you on that straight and narrow?
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's my father. My father was always like, he always says that his uncle Gu, his real name was Guglielmo, but his uncle Guglielmo, he was like, my uncle Guglielmo, he didn't care about anything. He didn't do anything. He did not care what people thought. You know, he rode on his bike in Brooklyn with like bread sticking out of his backpack and like, paper clips like tying together his little like sweater. So I was like, that's what I grew up with. He's like, just don't care about anything, don't care what anyone thinks, blah blah blah. So that's kind of what I took with me to, really just strive. Just this is where I want to be. I'm not going to care about what anyone else says, and that's probably the biggest thing. And also Luke Wilson, plays my father on Stargirl. He has very much the same mindset, which was very interesting. He's just a humble guy, and he really does just he looks at the facts, and he was the one who really kind of inspired me also to start really writing my own stuff, because he always said that he was like, sometimes you just can't rely on these Hollywood people to, like give
So
you
true.
your work, and you really have to you really have to work for it yourself. So I definitely think it's those two people that made me have this like clear path that I do.
Wow.
I think that's a nice segue because we
Yeah.
can't have fun and not talk about Luke, number one, and Stargirl. I mean, part of the DC Comics. How is that for you coming into something that, that it's kind of has a built-in fandom in it, and now you're part of like what I think will be a legacy. I mean, that in itself is a major step. How was it when A, you found out you had the role, and B, Luke, the whole dynamic? Just take us inside it and let us know.
Well, what really happened when I initially auditioned for it was, in that time I was really auditioning for like a lot of like Disney stuff and a lot of good stuff. There was like some like really like great features and everything like that. But I was mainly auditioning for like that comedy kind of side of things. So when I got this script originally, I just thought it was going to be another one of those like comedy pilots, because this first scene was between the father, Pat, and me. It was like in the first episode when we're walking down Main Street or whatever. And then the second scene that I had to prepare for my audition was a scene from episode 8, which was very dramatic. And it was a scene between Brec and I. I didn't know Brec at the time, but it was a scene between Brec's character and I. And it was just this really dynamic script. And I was like, I got to get this. Like, this is big. Like, this is going to be a good show. And like 3 months later, I completely forgot about it. I was out at dinner with my family, and I got a call from Jeff Johns himself. And he called me and he told me I got the role. And I was just like, this was like my first big thing. And I was like, for me to be like, I just want this role. I want it so bad to actually get it. That was just huge, And he told me that I did this little, probably 1.5 minute, like dialogue that was just improvised at the end with my good friend who was taping me. And he was like, that's what really got you the role, like Luke Wilson, like really loved that. And I was like, I forgot. I was like, Luke Wilson's in this. This is crazy. So then I went like a few days later to the set, because they were building all the sets and everything. Luke walks in, and he's got this hat on. I'm a ball buster, so I was like, nice hat, because it's this weird looking hat that he's got on. And then he shakes my hand, and he's like, yeah, nice to meet you. And I was like, nice to meet you too. And that was pretty much it. And then he left to his scene. And it was the first day on set. And that's pretty much when everything started. It was just it's very interesting and very surreal, because it all happened so quickly.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
That's super inspiring though, because I mean, you look at a lot of people, especially who are trying to break into the business, and it's kind of like one of those things, you audition and then you kind of forget about it. And then it's like, oh my gosh, this is really happening. And with someone, as amazing as Luke.
Yeah.
So it's actually.
Do you remember where you were when you got the call? What restaurant you're at?
Yeah, I was actually at Hal's Steakhouse in Atlanta, because I forgot why we were even there. And then that's when I got the call, and I remember I went in the bathroom. I was like in the bathroom. I was like pacing around. I walk all the time. I walk when I'm like talking. So I was like walking back and forth in the bathroom, and I was talking to Jeff, and I was like, I'm just gonna call you back when I get to my house. I gotta finish dinner, So then I called him when I got back, And then he kind of laid out what was going to happen with the first season of Stargirl and my character, Mike. And, you know, I was so impressed because he was so dialed in because he, you know, wrote this story for when he was my age, like when he was probably 14, 15. And it was just so impressive because he was like, and I think this could be cool for season 2. And this is what's going to happen to Mike. And then I was like, ooh, like it was just like so cool because he had all this stuff mapped out. And it's just really special that he was so intrigued and involved with the whole cast, not just me, just everyone. So
I love that.
So tell us a little bit about Mike and the character. Is there any relatability when you're preparing for Mike? How do you prepare for him?
Well, that's actually funny that you said that because Mike, with Mike, I really the first time I went to go see Jeff Johns, the creator, we were talking like in person, and he was like, you know, I wrote this character a long time ago, but no one really spoke to me. No one was really like that wise ass, like, you know, like character. And he's like, when I saw you, man, like you took it to another level. You were like, he was like, you are Mike. And I was like, nice. Like I didn't really have to do anything, you know? He was like, whenever like later on in the season, he said, whenever I'm writing like Mike's dialogue, I just think of you. And he's like, I just think of you. Like, you know, just like what you would say, I probably would write. And then that was really special to me. And then when the season kind of starts to close, like 7, 8 episodes in, then Mike really does make a change in his character because, you know, he gets so jealous and caught up in all this like stuff that's happening around him that he really does have a change in persona and a change of heart. And he also just does simply mature throughout the season because, you know, he has to adapt to the situation around him. And that's going to be a big plot line for the rest of season 1 and season 2.
I love that.
That's dope. That's so dope, though, I think, too, when you get to just kind of play like another version of yourself where it's not much thought into it. It's just kind of like, I get to show up on set and I just get to kind of be me. So
right. No, everyone used to joke around about that because, like, I would literally just show up and, like, Luke and I would, like, run lines and stuff like that. And that was also a big thing is that when you do have that freedom with your castmates and your character, and it was very much the same with Luke, that Luke's character is so similar to Pat. Well, no, not, you know what I'm saying, other way around. Pat's character is so similar to Luke
yes.
in real life that it was easy for both of us to really jump into that. So, like, we would go to dinner, and I remember this last episode, we wrote this scene at dinner, and we showed it to Jeff the next day. And I actually did not end up making the cut, but it was just that almost security with your character and the like overall just freedom on set just made the project in general just so, you know, light and fun.
I love that. I want to ask you, I mean, this was definitely probably one of your big aha moments, like, all right, I'm here. But is there anything kind of maybe a moment with a cast member or something that you were like, oh, this is definitely what I meant to be doing. This feels right.
Yes, that's actually a great question because I remember when it was the first probably 3 episodes. It was like episode 3, episode 4, something like that. And I had my on-set teacher, right? She's great. She was helped me with my school and everything. And then I got a knock on my trailer door, and it's Luke, and he's like, "Hey, pal," you know, I'm trying to do Luke's voice, but we'll see what happens. "I'll come over to my trailer. Let's hit some golf balls." And I was like, okay, that's great. So I remember I get to his trailer and I'm like, you know, I'm lining up with this golf club. He's like 6 feet tall. I'm like this big. And he hands me his club. It's like, you know, half the size of me. It goes up to like my like rib cage. And I'm getting ready to hit these balls. He hits 3, hits exactly where he wants them to hit. So I'm like, okay, a lot of pressure's on. I'm with Luke Wilson. I'm trying to hit golf balls next to a trailer. And that's when I was like, wait, I'm with Luke Wilson hitting golf balls next to a trailer. And I was like, that's interesting. So of course I line up and I have to say the Rodney Dangerfield, I never slice. And then I slice into the trees. And then he's like, next time, bring your own balls. And I was like, that was great. I think that was really when I realized how like special just being on set with people were.
Yeah. And what I love hearing about him too is he just seems like a really cool person, you know, to be around. And like that's great with, you know, your age and being around someone who can kind of also help shape your career in this industry.
Definitely.
So,
Yeah. No, just so.
Oh, she's angling. Hang on, wait. Yes?
So I'm ready for whatever. I'm ready.
so spill the tea. What's next for you? I mean, you talked about writing, but would you ever want to do more behind the scenes, like directing? What else is in, you know, what do you see for the future moving forward besides just acting?
The future, I think what I really want to do, and I was just actually talking about this, is that for the next few years, what I really want to do is I just want to get involved. And I know this is very vague, and a lot of actors probably say this, but I just want to get involved in one good project, like a really just like in like an indie film or just some feature of some sort. And I'm always telling Luke, I'm just like, Luke, if you ever get in a movie and you need to have someone like me, I'm there. I'm there. You don't even need to pay me. Just
Awesome.
get me on set. And then he was like, he said that with me because one of my favorite movies is Bottle Rocket, you know, that he did with Owen and Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson's one of my favorite directors. He was like, that's what we did. He was like, we just went in there and, you know, did what we did. And like, it was really great time. And the good thing about having these connections like Luke and other people that I've met in the industry, and that's the good thing, is that they know what it's like to be at this level. And they know that you're hungry. They know that you want to work. And thank God that I have maybe somehow made a good impression on Luke. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe he's just like, I never want to see this kid again. But who knows? You know, if not, it's hopefully some, you know, really good opportunities down the road. And also with writing and everything like that, like I was saying with my friend, we really want to take advantage of this quarantine downtime to really start writing and, you know, making these small things. We were even playing around yesterday. Like we should do like an IGTV series that's just like some like small tidbits. And I was like, that's a great idea. We should do that. So I just really just want to be as proactive as I can with just the industry in general.
Yeah.
Before we get into the rapid fire, I just want to say I'm pretty sure that you made a good impression on Luke, because I'm going to speak for both of us, Ari. I'm blown away. I'm like, I love it when we meet people that like knock me off my feet. I was like, I feel like we're on the good ground. So when you become really famous,
remember us.
Of course, I'm going to be like, you know what? I want to go back to sipping the tea. You know what? Great.
All right, ladies first. Ari, you wanna rapid fire it up?
Yes, I'm gonna rapid fire it on. We'll just start with this. I have this right in my head. What is the last show you binge watched on?
What was the last show I binge watched on? It was Bloodline. I just got around to watching Bloodline.
Nice.
Sure. Are you a mornings or late night kind of guy?
Late night kind of guy, 100%. I cannot work in the morning.
Your dream vacation?
Dream vacation? I'd probably say somewhere in the Bahamas. I've never been to any islands before, so that sounds pretty cool.
I'd say anything outside the house, actually, at this point.
Now, how about just a trip to the grocery? That sounds great, too.
I got a good one. Atlanta or Los Angeles?
Ooh.
I put in there because I was like, bam.
How do you expect me to answer that? All right, how about this?
Rapid fire. Come on.
I was going with Atlanta, I guess. Guys, you put me on the spot. Damn. So, yeah, Atlanta. Yeah. Sorry, I thought I said it. I don't know if you guys heard me.
No.
I was like,
I was like, wait.
I saw you leaning in. I was like, did I say it loud?
He was like, you know what? I'm just going to pretend that I said it and then look at you guys like.
I had
to
change my answer. I had a second.
Okay. And
Sorry.
Last question is 3 words that describe you.
3 words that describe me? Jeez. I'd probably say, I don't know. Like, how do you say this without sounding like, I would say, all right. Here we go. 3 words that describe me. Food. Number 1, food.
Okay.
Love food. Wise ass, which is pretty much 2 words, but I'm just gonna say it's 1. And hopefully hardworking.
Okay.
Ding.
We'll take it.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, it's your word. So, I mean, no one can do you like you. So, you know.
Yes, you're right. Yes.
So for people who are living under a rock, let everybody know where they can follow you at, where they can catch the show, and, go ahead and plug yourself.
Of course. So you can follow me on Instagram at Trae Romano. No underscores, no nothing, just at Trae Romano. And you can watch Stargirl on the CW app on Wednesday or CW on Tuesday. Or if you want to even get a sneak peek at the action, then you can go on DC Universe. So I suggest the first one. DC Universe is the way to go. But anywhere you want to watch it, it's a great show, and you guys should tune in. So it's pretty much it.
Where can we find you, Miss Ari?
You can follow me across the board at Ariane Andrew. And what about you, Mr. Matt?
You can follow me at Matt Dillon 1983. Until next time, Trae, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
Park.
And
thank you so much for having me on, guys.
Yeah,
Sure.
Much luck to you. And you guys, we will catch you guys on another episode of Sippin' the Tea next Tuesday.